We are in beautiful Kuala Lumpur, and today, while I show you around the city, we're in the center city today. We're gonna maybe end up at a park, but I want to just show you the center, the actual commercial district, and some of the shopping areas. While we're here, I want to talk to you about when the best time to retire is, because it's different for every person. So I need to explain it to you from my standpoint. When was the best time for me to retire? I know you think that the first one is going to be money, right? When the money is ready, then you'll retire. I understand that, yes. And that's probably not that bad of an answer when you think about it. For me, when I looked at money, let's take that as an example as the first reason that I decided to retire. It took me many years, a couple of decades, to invest so that I had an income coming in that I could fall back on and do my traveling. Is it enough income so that I could live in the United States and eat, $20 meals and live for $3,000 a month, housing? No, I can't do that. But I also did not want to do that. But I make enough that I'm able to live overseas and live a healthy lifestyle, travel, and pay $400, $500, maybe even $600 a month in housing, and pay for meals that are between $2, $5. That I could afford. So that was the way that I budgeted for my retirement. But that wasn't just it. I also looked at how I was spending my money overall. I had to look at a budget. And I'll be the first one to admit I didn't really have a budget for many years. I wasn't a reckless spender. I wasn't someone that spent money irresponsibly, but I also didn't have a budget. When I did start a budget was when I decided to retire. Then I said to myself, it's time to have a budget, to know exactly what I'm spending, what I'm saving, and what's coming in from my investments so I know how much I have to spend, okay? That's when I really started realizing, yeah, I need to actually work on a budget. The third point with the money is debt. I didn't want to be in debt if I was going to go into retirement. Now, I don't look at a mortgage as being debt, because if my property is rented out and it's actually making positive income, then I look at that as constructive, not destructive. That's not a liability, it's an asset. Now, if I lose that income on that property, that flips and it becomes a liability again. So you have to manage your investments and you have to be ready and be flexible for change, okay? But as far as any type of credit card debt, an automobile, I just sold it. Anything else that I had a little storage, got rid of it, got rid of everything that was in it. I got rid of my liabilities, and I got rid of my monthly bills, and I got rid of my debt. So as far as money goes, that's when I knew I was ready to actually make this change into retirement. Great city planning. Just look at this. When you're designing a city, let's just plant a forest right in the middle of it. The next thing you're gonna think is age, right? When you get to a certain age, that's when you're gonna retire. That is not the case anymore, okay? It really has to do with what your plans are for retirement and how much you're gonna need to be able to live those plans. And that might make it so that you can retire early. Or, in my case, when I was living and working in the West, every year I was getting more and more in debt. What this meant is it didn't matter how long I kept working. It didn't matter. Every year my credit cards had a little bit more on them. Every year the cost of living was going up in the West. So I could say, I'm gonna work 10 more years and then I'll be ready to retire, and that wasn't true. I would be more in debt and the cost of retirement would be higher. So age had nothing to do with it. Waiting longer to retire and waiting for a certain age would have made me more in debt and have less money to retire and be less able to afford to live where I was in the state that I was living in. So age, no. What it was is means, not age. I looked overseas and I saw the cost of living. I could live within my means. It changed everything for me. It changed my whole aspect. But I still, as I said earlier in the video, I still made sure that I paid off any and all debts that I had just to be safe, and so that I live a less stressed, more comfortable life while I'm overseas. Like the banyan tree, as you get older, your foundation should get stronger. That means your investments, as your age increases, should stay ahead of inflation, and they should get stronger. They should grow. I've done several videos on how to invest for retirement, and I'll go ahead and put a link in the description for one of them so that you can check that out to give you a better idea. But that's my analogy with the banyan tree. As it gets older, it actually becomes more sturdy and has a better foundation. It's getting around lunchtime, so let's go grab ourselves a bite to eat. This is a nice food court that's right downtown, and I love to stop in here. They have several different places to choose from, and the price was about 10 ringgit. Thank you very much. It looks great, thank you. It's about 5 to 1, so this is what, $2? Thank you, yeah. Whew. It is so hot right now. Malaysia is very hot and very humid. So I just went and splashed water all over myself, and that feels a lot better. Whew. Okay, so this is a good lead-in to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is your health. The one reason why you might think about retiring is because of your health. And there's two sides to this, okay? The first side is you want to stay ahead of a situation that might be coming. And this is the reason why I retired early, because I want to be able to travel while I'm still physically able to, okay? Down the line, maybe in my 60s, I might decide to work some chill job. You never know. But right now, I want to be without a job, and I want to travel while I'm healthy and I can still move, okay? Look at this right here. Ooh, look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that nice? That's gorgeous. Wow. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Now, the other side to that story is when the health situation comes to you. Okay? You're working and you think to yourself, I'm doing good. I'm going to work for another 10 years. And then, you know, God forbid, you have a stroke. God forbid, you have anything else that occurs to you that makes it so that you know that you're not going to be able to continue to work, at least maybe at the job that you have, or at all, okay? I will tell you that as I'm traveling, I see gentlemen that are using canes, walkers, wheelchairs, okay? I see gentlemen that are moving much slower than I am, just trying to, because maybe they have a little bit of vertigo. I commend them on getting out and traveling and seeing the world while they still can, and that's what I'm trying to do, okay? So the health situation came to them and put them in a situation where they're like, hey, guess what? No, you're not going to go back to that job. You're now dominus ominous, you're retired, okay? So for me, I wanted to stay ahead of that and retire first before that stuff happens. And then down the line, if there's some reason why I just want to go back to work at something, I just will. That's fine. You know, I'll find something to do and just have fun with it. But these are the years when I'm healthy, when I'm capable of traveling, when I'm capable of hiking in the humidity, when I'm capable of going up and down stairwells. That's when I want to get out and see the world. The last part that I want to talk to you about is family, okay? For me, let me explain how this comes into play for me. My kids are at a certain age where they're going to college. And I know that there's going to be time now where they're doing their own thing and they just want to enjoy life and see the world and meet people. But I also know that down the line, they might start having kids of their own. And when that happens, I might make that like my decision to go back home and start working again to be around that family, the new family, right? The new kids in the house, the new grandchildren. But right now I have that little leeway that's going on, okay? Looks like they're doing some leaf blowing over here. I'm gonna walk the other direction. There's a little bit of leeway happening right now where they're going into these different schools and there's no grandkids, okay? And so this is like my time to just go boom. And then when situations change, I can now go back home and maybe find myself some kind of a chill retirement job and move on with the next chapter of my life. So that was the last thing I wanted to talk about, was family considerations, okay? Like, what happens if your spouse wants to retire now as well? And you're like, well, I wanted to work for 10 more years. You know, if she's ready to retire or if he's ready to retire, for whatever their reasons are looking at, maybe it's best for you to make arrangements so that you do that together, okay? So family considerations was the last part that I wanted to talk about. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today as we get a look at the city of Kuala Lumpur here in beautiful Malaysia and end up right here at the Botanical Gardens. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about the different reasons that you might choose it's now time to retire, and talked about what my reasons were. I look forward to your comments, and as always, if you want to join me on my trip through Southeast Asia, we're going all year through several different countries. Like and subscribe and come along. I wish you a wonderful rest of your week, and aloha. I have lots of great clips from Kuala Lumpur downtown to show you, so sit back and relax. I love showing these to you. These are the indoor enclosed walkways that go over the streets below. They're air conditioned, they're comfortable. I can see these being built in cities all over the world. This is fantastic. What a great way to walk across town. Okay. Yeah. These look great right here. Yeah. Oh man, look at this. Oh, look at these curry puffs right here. I'm gonna get one of those. Ooh, look at that. This is a meal in itself. It's huge. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is massive. Curry chicken inside, delicious. With potatoes too, curry chicken and potatoes. This is the famous Lot 10. It's sort of the downtown mall that everybody goes to, but the shopping district is actually quite large, so you don't have to actually stay inside of this one particular mall, but look at it, it's just beautiful. Just like anywhere, downtown traffic gets pretty bad, but it's not very noisy. That's what's interesting. I found some beautiful greenery right in the middle of downtown, almost like a person's private house. And I thought this was great. This is fun architecture when they actually grow up the sides of the buildings. And the beautiful towers, of course. Thanks for coming along with me. I'll talk to you again soon. Aloha.